Okay, what exactly is therapy? Therapy is where a person goes from a level, it's not about counseling, it goes a step further after counseling. That when you find out what are the issues, what are the problems that the client is facing, it needs some deeper investigations, literally going deeper into the subconscious mind and finding out what have been the experiences of the client. Now, this deals with a lot of emotional baggage or emotional, hurdles or emotions which come up at different levels. Okay, so let's say a person has gone through a lot of issues in life. Let's say trauma. There is a lot of fear. There are people who have gone through, stage frights. People who have claustrophobia, fear of heights, and stuff like that. All of this does not come under the counseling. Just I want to clarify a few ideas. This cannot be dealt with only through counseling. It has to have a therapy work, and therapy goes much more deeper. It is a psychological shift which needs to happen. So for that we need to actually scan or understand the person's mind or how the mind works of that particular client. So there are few concepts which we, from a therapy perspective, is a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. So everybody has these two minds. The conscious mind is the one which analyzes, decides, has a logic behind it, right, wrong, black or white. And the subconscious mind has all the experiences, which typically we talk about from the emotional point of view. So the emotional management, basically. So how did you feel? What was happening to you? What was your emotion? What did you take home? How did you, so on and so forth. All those experiences go in the subconscious. So therapy, majorly, at least the one which I work with, is working on the subconscious mind.
Right. So it has got to do with the deeper issues and not the
deeper issues,
situations.
Not the surface issues. Yeah. To an extent where there is also some kind of disorder also. So that also needs therapy work. Yeah. So it doesn't go with counseling.
So how do you know that if a person needs counseling or if he needs therapy?
So the first session is a very important session. In the first session, when there is a lot of the case taking or a counseling, both ways, I understand and come to know about how and what the client actually is, what is the problem with the client. Basically the story, what is the client coming up with, so all of that. So when that comes up, after that, then I understand that there have been incidences in that person's life, which now I'm going to talk some technical words here, the triggers of life. So let's say when the child was very small, there have been ragging, there has been any traumas in life, there have been any deaths or any separation kind of issues, abusive, physical abuse, emotional abuse. So these for a child can be literally, it can stop his life at that level, that age, and he doesn't know how to cope up with it. So there, from that time, he tries to suppress it. So everything goes under the carpet, literally. And then somewhere or the other, there is another trigger, and that comes up. I'll give you examples as and when we go on. But that is where, so it goes pretty deep. And today, when that client comes to me, that history and that knowledge, that information from his entire childhood is what is important for me today. So in the case taking, literally, that is where I collect all that data. And then I understand whether only by counseling. So counseling will be only lifestyle issues, anything stress related, where there is some emotional interactions between people or situations. But where trauma or there is physical, mental abuse, there is any kind of fear which is generated or due to any incidences happening in the client's life, then therapy is absolutely essential.
So, I think all of these serious issues are somewhere the reason behind being depressed or what we call as depression. So please
Yes.
tell us what is depression exactly.
So at one stage of life, what happens is, as human beings, what we do is we have a fight and a flight mechanism. Okay, where there is fight, we say that, like I have, if many of you have been following my episodes, I gave an example of the coping mechanisms of a child. So the coping mechanism is that I take up the challenge and I come out with it. Okay. Now what happens is, from a perspective where fight and flight comes in, the person is standing, in front of the challenge literally, and saying that, okay, I'm going to take this challenge of yours, this situation, and I'm going to go through it. That kind of talk. Okay, acha, God is, kind of testing me, is it, in this time? Okay, I will see to it that I go through it and all, So that becomes a fight mechanism. The second is a flight mechanism, wherein the person runs away, takes a flight. Now, the symptoms here are taking a flight, feeling sleepy, closing up on everyone, kind of being alone in his or her own room, not connecting with anyone. So, digital detox, not wanting to socialize at all. All of this, not necessarily, but yes, 90% I will say. There can be other reasons also, but 90% is about.
It's also related to eating habits, like either you eat.
Yeah, absolutely. All of this. So when the fight and the flight mechanisms seep in, or kind of trigger in a person's life, there is a third scenario which comes up where the person doesn't know whether to fight the situation or to take a flight. In these kind of situations, the person feels stuck. So that's the third one. And here we call it as freezing. So freezing in that moment, freezing in that situation, not able to step out and do anything about it. So that freezing, when you are in that state for more than a considerable amount, for a few days it's fine, but when it goes from weeks to months, it becomes a depressive mentality. So we call this situation as depression. Literally the word, if you understand, the pure English is depressed. So there is a depression. So it's like, it's not up here, it's depressed, it's gone down. So that is exactly what happens with our mind. It gets depressed because we have been suppressing.
Right.
So there is a lot of suppression. Suppression after a longish time span creates a depression. Now, two depressions. One is depression which can be healed, which can be cured. Clinical depression is another kind of depression where the person does not know that he or she is depressed. So a depressive mentality person who can come on his own for professional help is under depression, fine. But a person who needs to be brought to a counselor or a therapist is suffering from a clinical depression. And when there is clinical depression, it is necessary that you need to take medical help from psychiatrists, because that has chemical imbalance in the brains as well, and this may lead to disorders. So when we as therapists, so from my point of view, what I do is, if it is at that stage, I definitely ask them to go to a medical doctor, and then parallel you can do therapies.
Right.
But for clinical depression, only therapy is not the solution.
You need both.
You need medical help essentially. Only depression, pure depression, which is at that fence, the person is at that level where he might go on to clinical depression, but if that person comes in, is aware, their therapy can work.
Right.
Absolutely fine.
Okay, so many people feel that once I go to therapy, if I have done 4 to 5 sessions, that is going to fix me forever. Like, I'm not going to have any issues after that, or life is just going to be amazing, or that's the end of my issues. That is what people think normally. So is it like that? Is therapy going to fix you forever?
No. it doesn't fix you forever. Point is, situations, incidences and environment keeps on changing. So the change outside you is constant.
Right.
So you have to be able to adapt to the changing situations a lot. And it is as if, I mean, you work 30 days, 31 days of the month, right? And at the end of the month, you get your paycheck, right? You don't just say that, okay, I am educated now, I'm going to just work for 1 month or 1 year, and then I don't need to work later, right? It doesn't happen that way. So situations in your life are also not going to stop. Or the negative or the ones which are creating that stress in your life, they are not going to stop. Situations are going to come, problems are going to come in, you will have challenges at different stages in your life. So, different decades, like typically 20 to 30, 30 to 40 will be different, 40, after 40 things will be different. And of course, senior citizens have a different issue. So, situations are going to change, challenges are going to come up, but you need to face them. What happens after doing therapy work for that particular problem? So let's say there is a trauma, for that trauma because of which the triggers are coming up and you are not able to face or not able to deal with your life at that stage. You have healed that part of you related to the trauma. If there is fear related to something, fear of losing, fear of losing someone, loved ones. If you are coming to me or any therapist for that kind of an issue, when you do therapy, let's say 5 sessions, 7 sessions, whatever. So at that time you are working on that one issue. That is also resolving, it will be a ripple effect for other issues in your life. But later on, let's say after 10 years, there is something unpredictable which comes up in your life. You will be empowered to face it because you have gone through a therapy. And if at that stage it becomes too overwhelming, you can definitely, introspect, find out, or seek help again for therapy. So, but it doesn't mean that you keep on going for therapy. No. I mean, every time whenever a client comes to me, I say, I don't want you to come to me lifelong. I want you to come to me when you have that issue, work on yourself, I will facilitate, and you heal yourself and you empower your life.
Correct. Because I remember that is what my journey was like. So
correct. Yeah.
Now I have that confidence or trust that if the same situation happens or if God forbid something moves me tomorrow, I have that courage or I have that trust in myself that I'll be able to pick myself up.
Yes. Correct.
I came here at a point in time where I didn't know what to do. I had no belief in myself. I didn't know how to go about it. And everything had just, stopped for me. But now today I know that it keeps on going.
Yes.
You can, get up and deal with it any single day. And if I cannot find the way to it, I can always give you a call and seek your guidance on the
Absolutely.
Okay, so please tell everybody what are the kind of therapies that you conduct.
Okay. So therapies are of various kinds, but what I do here at Solace, my healing studio, I conduct hypnotherapy. Is my first major therapy work which I do. This is the modality which I use. Then I also do chakra healing. I do regression therapy, which is past life regression. I also conduct intuitive healing. I do cognitive work as well. So all this, so basically a client comes in and it doesn't mean that this client will need this client will need this. It doesn't happen that way. Okay. So the client at different sessions, at different therapy sessions when that person comes in, requires the integrated part. So sometimes the person just wants to discuss, just talk. So there is this cognitive therapy which I do. So there is a lot of brainstorming and discussion. So that becomes a logical mind work. Otherwise, there are issues when that person comes very angry and a lot of boiling with anger and is not able to deal with his emotions. That is that level where the client immediately is on the chair and I do a therapy on him. I do hypnotherapy, which is what I've been doing for the last 12 plus years. So primarily I work with hypnotherapy.
So people are scared that in hypnotherapy, I think they have this misconception that they won't be, in a conscious state or awareness. So please explain how hypnotherapy
or it
works.
is like, I mean, people say, ki, will I say something which I don't want to say? Will you know all my secrets? So people are scared. I can understand that. So basically, every human being is scared of giving control to the other person.
Correct.
And that is what is the problem in the society.
Right.
Controlling issues, right? So everybody wants to be the master of their own self, of their own mind. But when you come to professional help like this, and when you come to a therapist and I explain hypnotherapy to them, the first question is, will I be able to go into a hypnotic state? That is one thing. Then people ask me that, so for that answer, it depends upon how much you are able to surrender. So please understand, all of you here who have my audience, that I cannot and will not take a client on the chair who does not want to go through hypnotherapy, because the subconscious does not allow me to access it unless and until the client is ready for it. Okay, so that is one big, kind of regulating thing which needs to be understood. That it doesn't happen that I say, oh, okay, you need to go through hypnotherapy. Come on, on the chair, and I'm going to put you into trance. It doesn't happen that way. I explain, and then the client understands, and then the client says, no, I'm ready for it, and that's how the hypnotherapy happens. So hypnotherapy is about dealing with the subconscious mind, because that is almost 88 to 90% of our data, of our memory is stored in the subconscious mind. So we say that there was another voice which said, don't do it, and I didn't listen to my other voice. That other voice is your subconscious voice. So fear, yes, I can understand, but then I explain. So that's how the session goes. I explain to the clients.
I was scared once. I think I remember in one of my sessions where I was trying to get into the trance state, but somehow I think my subconscious was not ready, and we were trying a little bit harder than usual to get
so
into
it does happen that way.
State,
It does happen that way. So sometimes your subconscious does not want to open the Pandora's box, kind of.
So you're scared of what will come out of it.
And it is not, the processing is not done. The subconscious is not done its work.
Okay.
So that's why it is not ready to bring it up. It is like the data has to mature. It's like the ripening of the mangoes. Unless and until it is ripe enough, we can't have it in the month of March. It needs to be, completely in the ripened stage. So fear, yes, I can understand, but I, do the discussion and ask. I'm able to answer all their questions, and then the fear, yes, that goes away. The second thing is whether people are, whether they can hear anything, whether they can understand, or is it an unconscious state? It is not an unconscious state. They go into a trance state. I do an induction. So induction is the technical word where what I speak with them for the 15-20 minutes when I'm taking them into a trance level, hypnotic level. That is what induction is all about. And that is where you are actually focusing onto yourself, because you close your eyes, and the moment you close your eyes, you're focusing onto your own self. So you go deeper into so you actually go down the staircase to your subconscious and access the data of what is happening, what good is happening, what bad is happening, and how can you solve your own problems. So actually you are in absolute control of your own subconscious mind. I am the one who is the facilitator here. I only facilitate. I only take you down that staircase where you go to your subconscious. After that, the work is yours, because only you know what is happening to you. Otherwise, the conscious mind is giving out words. But inside you, there is something else also which is happening. So many a times it also happens. I would definitely want to share here that I can also do content-free therapy. So content free here, I don't need the story. In the sense, this person did this to me, that person did this to me, and that's why I'm going through all of this. I can typically go directly into what is the problem and take you into a trance situation. That is a laser therapy. Laser therapy, why I'm saying laser? Because that is to the point. What are you, what is happening to you right here, right now, and I take you into a trance. So there, it is not even the induction. That is what is the regression therapy. So that is TASO, the international certification that I have, where you go right to the point of what is your problem and dig deeper. So there, the induction also is not there. It is just about how you are feeling, and with your emotions, there are various techniques, various tools through which you go into the client's subconscious. So it's very, very different. So hypnotherapy is different. The regression therapy is different.
So tell us more about regression, and you are a regression therapist as well.
Yes.
What is it exactly? Because many people do not understand what regression is or how past lives are connected.
Yeah. So when I do hypnotherapy, there is a part of regression, but that is age regression. That is where when a person at this age, let's say 30-35 age, has some problems when he or she was at the age of 10 or 15 years. Through timeline, I take them in the trance, of course, all of this in the therapy world. I take them down to what happened at the age of 10 or 15, wherever the incidences are. They bring out incidences. They talk to me. So this is eyes closed, and they are having a dialogue with me. They're telling me that this is happening and that is happening. So all of this also has a lot of creative visualization, because they are able to visualize what happened. We have our 5 senses with which we are able to see, hear, feel, taste, and smell. So all of these, from a neuro-linguistic perspective, I am able to find out what exactly is happening. So the senses are absolutely acute there, and all that data comes out, and then I'm able to understand what is happening, and then I use the tools, and I neutralize that particular situation. So as of today, that person, he has the trigger is there in his timeline somewhere at the age of 10 or 15. I bring it out, I work on that, and then he's kind of neutralized it. So he doesn't have the trigger any longer. This is a typical age regression in this life. For past life, which is the internationally agreed regression therapist that I am, transpersonal regression therapy, which is a technical proper word for it, is where in this lifetime there are many patterns which you go through. Let's say psychological issues, you have people coming in your life which are very typical. Every 2 years, 3 years, the same type of people come in and they betray you. Or there are financial issues. Every 5 years you have a financial loss.
Right.
So these kind of patterns which come in your life, and where sometimes it happens that this life does not have that answer. So the subconscious needs to be, again, I keep on saying, the subconscious needs to be ready for it. So the subconscious, if it is ready, it takes you on a time travel, and you go to a past life where the solution to this problem that you're facing in this life lies. So I know I think I've scared all of you, because Aditi knows about it, but she's also in that awe about, oh my God, how does this happen? But it's a very beautiful way in which we are able to heal ourselves, and the healing is amazing. I'm really, it is. I'm a big fan of.
So share us any of your experiences of your clients who were, who had that moment that, okay, now I've corrected this pattern or issue that I was dealing with.
So a friend of mine had a dear friend of mine. She said that I want your help. It becomes very difficult when you are close friends. But then she said she was ready. So I said yes, fine. Let's do the therapy. And she had many financial issues, and it went on and on. I mean, I have known her for a long time now, almost 30 plus years. And I have seen how the financial issues have, really taken her, and which is pretty bad. So as a person, as a friend, I was feeling very bad. But as a therapist, I was not commenting on anything because that's not my place. But she approached me. She said, "No, I think I need therapy from you." So here, it's the total willingness of the client again. So why I'm sharing it this way, because I could see that she is going through problems. But it's not my place to say that, no, come to me, I'll give you therapy, you will be fine. It doesn't work that way, because if your subconscious is not ready, it becomes difficult for, the therapy does not work. Yeah, you will feel that placebo effect that, oh, okay, something has happened. Oh, yeah, nice, I felt good. Because you go into a trance state, definitely when you come out of it, you feel good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't heal you from the problem.
Correct.
So, when you are ready, when the client is ready, it becomes a hand-in-hand situation. So she came to me, and there was a past life which she saw where she had, so the person whom she had issues with about the finances, in the past life, so she went exactly to that past life where she had betrayed that person.
Okay.
Who she had run away, literally, with whatever issues. So she had practically run away, and he was on the roads. So basically a financial, blunder is what she had done in that life, and which she was not aware that after that the result of it was that he was on the road. She was not aware of it. So she went through that life. So we go through that entire life. We heal the life there. So basically understanding. So what today's client has is the wisdom of what exactly happened. Because you go through the life, but how many times do you look back and say that, oh, this incident was, this could have happened something differently, that was really bad, I did not do correct there. How many of us do actually do that self-criticism, or self-analysis on us? We don't.
No.
So this kind of a situation where she was able to understand that she was the one who did that wrong to him. And there is something which is called as karma.
Yeah.
So it comes back, and somewhere or the other, and then she saw that the same people in that life are here in this life. And when she healed that, she was able to free herself. Now, that doesn't mean that she has loads and loads of money immediately. No. But now she knows why it happened.
Right.
And then now she is able to cut loose of that particular karmic connection. And today she is really happy with whatever she is doing, but she has found her grounding.
I think now I definitely believe in karma, because if this is like, what better example could be there to understand that how karma acts in every life. So this next question is out of the box. So we have talked about counseling, we have talked about therapy.
Yeah.
So apart from that, does doing anything extracurricular or following your passion help you to deal with mental issues? Is there something that you could do out of these?
Oh, it does.
Activities?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because when you are doing something that you love, your soul connect is very high. Because you were meant to do something. Let's say you love to doing something on the stage, let's say singing or dancing or playing some game. I mean, if you have stopped it, there is a part of you which is completely shunted. So there is no life in some part of you.
Right.
Like when we talk about electricity, we say that this is phase 1 and phase 2 or phase 3. One phase is not working. So a part in your house, a part of the electricity is not on.
Right.
Yeah. So that is exactly how it happens. That there is that part of you which switches off.
Correct.
And the other two parts which are there, seem to be alive, are not in their full power.
Correct.
So when you are looking for motivation, your motivation was there which is shunted. That's the motivation. That's the part which you have closed in. That I love this, but no, because later on, and you give there is a mentality or there is a tendency of giving excuses. No, fine, but then at some point in time, you need to take charge of your life and then find a slot in your time schedule where you can definitely do that for at least small time. So that part of you re-energizes the remaining entire part of you.
I think that also feels therapeutic.
Oh, it is very therapeutic.
Connect with
Oh,
your
it
soul,
is.
your passion, and that
It is
ultimately
very
brings you
therapeutic.
happiness and
Yeah.
peace.
And spending time with family,
Right.
rather than watching TV or watching web series is also actually therapeutic if you give it a chance.
And I think you have to do it by yourself. Nobody is actually going to come
No,
to
no.
you and force you to do
No.
something that is good for you.
Because
I
you
think
know,
have to be aware
Yeah.
of.
you know what you have, no?
Yeah.
You know what you want to do.
Right.
And it is nothing that, the other people will again it starts, so they'll again start becoming judgmental.
Right.
They'll start giving advice, and then that is what you won't like.
Right. And I think it also has a lot to do with the hormones and hormonal imbalances.
Oh yeah, all of it.
All the activities that
Absolutely.
you do.
Absolutely. So all of this also adds on to your inner urge,
Correct.
that inner self of yours, which wants to get motivated, that taking that initiative, that I want to do it. Sometimes, and also just accept that sometimes you can be very lethargic. Sometimes you just want to sleep. Just respect yourself, And I would also, using this space, since we're talking about therapy and spirituality, karma, I would also say be happy for what you have. Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Please express gratitude for what you have. In this pandemic, I think many of you have realized that even if 3 months of lockdown, you have breakfast, lunch and dinner, and you don't have to go and seek the money to buy that lunch and dinner, I think you know that there is a lot of blessings that you have. Please learn to forgive who have done something wrong to you, hurt you, at that stage of their life, something wrong has happened. Learn the forgiveness. It is wonderful because you are the one who's going to be benefited by that. There is again that ego part which comes in, but believe me, when forgiving is something which becomes part of your life, then life becomes much more wonderful for you.
Yeah, and forgiving yourself also for.
Oh, forgiving
whatever-
yourself, absolutely.
Yeah.
Forgiving yourself for what you went wrong with.
Correct. So that is how you enhance and then empower in the end. You feel empowered when you change, you work on yourself, you accept things with grace and let go, forgive yourself, others, and I think that is what you have taught me.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, friends, for being here again today. Please like, comment and share this video if you have liked it. Stay tuned to this place and we'll be coming up with more exciting topics related to mental health issues and also things surrounding it. And we promise you that we'll definitely try to the best of our ability to help you with whatever that is you are going through. So stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.